Hi Nick, this is Pat Estes from the Institutional Assessment and Research Office. I received your question about putting the GPA ranges into different categories. What we call it in SPSS is recoding a variable, and I'll show you how to do that here with an example data set. So actually I have a very similar case where in this data set I have a variable 6.5 here that is the GPA range, only 2 decimal places out, but basically I can, if I wanted to do this the old school way, I could sort the variable and then simply put in a 1, which would represent the first range, let's say 3.5 to 4.0. So I could then go down. Now this is, the old-fashioned way here. I'll show you a much faster way here in a second. But if I scroll down and go to the last 3.5, I could then, I'd want to insert a new variable here first for the ranges, and then I lost my variable here. So scroll down. So the last 3.5 is there. I can right click and paste, and it will carry that information, and then I could go in and relabel that as, oops, mouse isn't working here. Value is 1, and we'll call it 3.5 to 4.0 GPA. Click add. Okay, so that's just an example of one of the bands, but then you would essentially repeat this step for the rest of the fields in this variable here. So for these non-respondents, I could maybe recode those as -99 and then again drag down and then paste. But here, I'll show you a much faster way. So this is what we call recode into, in this case, we'll use different variables so we can check to make sure the data transformation was run correctly. So I'll click that, and then I'll find my GPA, which was Q6.5. Let me turn variable names on. 6.5. So I'll drag that over and then give it a name. So GPA range, and label is just GPA range bands. And then click old and new values. So we'll use the range option here. In the first box, enter 3.50 in this example up to 4.0, and we'll label this as 1. Click add. Then for our next one, let's say 3.0 to 3.49, and we would go over to the new value and click, or add a 2, click add, and then we would do that for the rest of the bands, and then to exclude the system missing, so any system missing or user missing, you could then recode as, let's say, either system missing or -99. We'll just recode it as -99. So I won't go through and add all the different bands, but this will just serve as an example. And we'll want to hit change up above, and then go ahead and paste this syntax in case we need to run it again for any reason. All the steps that we took were just saved, and this can be rerun later. So if we open that syntax window, select all, hit run, and now if we go back to our data set there should be a new variable created at the very end. If I scroll all the way down here, and I'll have to quickly just add value names. So 1 is 3.5 to 4.0, click add. Then 2 was 3.0 to 3.49, click add. And then negative 99, we'll just say missing, add, click OK. Now if we right click, we can get the frequencies. Go to our output here. Oh, so it's not in the correct variable format here. We'll want to change this to nominal. Let's try rerunning this. So we can actually get a breakdown of the frequencies for each different newly created band when we recoded the variable. Okay, to answer your other question about getting some descriptive statistics and measures of variance for a scale type item, either ordinal or scale, let's find my academic self-efficacy score here in my example data set. So essentially we would just go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, Frequencies, and we'll go ahead and add just the ASC score here. And if we want to get fancy, we can even run some other things that might be useful in our analysis depending on how deep we want to go. But you had mentioned these three, mean, median, and mode, as well as standard deviation. We can also get additional measures, skewness, kurtosis, and if we want to go extra fancy, we can even produce a histogram displaying that data visually. So if I hit continue, we'll paste to get the syntax, and lastly we will run that syntax, the second one that we just created, and voila, we have some statistics on our academic self-efficacy score. This is a composite score, as well as our histogram, so we can see how that compares to the normal curve. Things are skewed more to the right, as you would expect among college students. We can also see there's a number of scores that are system missing or left blank, so we would want to figure out how to deal with those missing data or outliers. Hope this little tutorial has helped. Best of luck on your research.